Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is August 26th. It's Wealth Wednesday. We get to learn from an incredible individual. We're so fortunate to get to learn from Daine Clark. Daine has been in Renatus about 4 or 5 years, and he has created so much success. And it's really, really, really incredible that he spends an hour with us every Wednesday to share with us what's working for him. And Daine has a really, really cool story. He was working 2 jobs before Renatus. He was working for Apple. And typically when you work at Apple, you're in the sales floor, you're talking to customers. And Daine was actually in the back counting cell phones because he wasn't really good at talking to people at the time. And so he's grown a lot from being in Renatus. He's gotten really good at talking with people. And I just love that about him. He was also a roofer. He was a roofer because that's what his dad did. And as you can see, with red hair, fair skin, Daine was not all about working in the sun all day. So he was barely making ends meet at the time, and he started to look for other income opportunities, and he found Renatus. He studied his classes, he listened to his mentors, and he started to apply what he was learning. He applied the velocity banking strategy, and that enabled him to put a down payment on a duplex. The duplex, he rented out one side, lived in the other side. That's an awesome strategy. And now if we fast forward to today, Daine has raised over $13.5 million from various investors to lend on his real estate transactions. Got someone off mute. Let me go ahead and take care of that. Okay. And his secret to gathering funds for his deals is consistency and frequency. He has grown his team. So not only is he killing it on the real estate side, I believe in the 4 years he's been with Renatus, he's done something around 80 deals. Correct me if I'm wrong, Daine, 60 to 80 deals. And that's so incredible and so inspiring. So alongside with the real estate that he's done, he's also been building a team. And he's recognized by our CEO, Bob Snyder, as a key leader. He is on the PIT team, meaning he's in training to be on the PAC, the President's Advisory Council. And again, we are so fortunate to get to learn from Daine this morning. Good morning, Daine. How are you?
I am doing wonderful this morning. Thank you so much, Keely. I hope you had an enjoyable time up in the mountains, time off there. Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations
good morning.
to you on the new baby, by the way.
Oh, yes, thank you. We just added, that's right, we added a little baby to our family. So super exciting. 3 boys. Oh, thanks, Doug. Already, brother. Yeah, everybody who knows what to do, go ahead. But yeah, super exciting. 3 boys at 4 years old and under. We're just glutton for punishment, I guess. But yeah, it's super fun, super fun. But yeah, go ahead, guys. You guys know what I like to do. I want to hear how you guys have been doing in the last 7 days, especially because it's so funny. I promised my wife, her that I would not do any business expansion for 2 weeks. And so I've been sitting around changing diapers, helping my wife around, which has been fine. But I've been it's kind of funny. I'm like, okay, this Sunday marks 2 weeks since the baby has been born. But it's crazy though. We've actually still closed 3 real estate transactions because that doesn't count as business expansion. That's just the system, right? Plugging away. I'm so grateful for Renatus. Oh my gosh. Still been able to close real estate deals. In fact, Keely, I just broke the $14 million in money put to work in real estate from
amazing.
Private investors.
Congrats.
Even while I was in non-business expansion mode, thank you so much to Renatus, to Bob Snyder, to all of you guys that get me up in the morning, get me going. Huge gratitude. So, but yeah, go ahead and tell me, how many conversations did you have in the last 7 days? How many people did you have to intros to? Let's see, was there something on Saturday? I didn't know this week because well, no business expansion, was hanging out with the wife and kids. But yeah, if there was something Saturday, to the intros, to one-on-ones, to follow-ups, to anything, house tours, virtual, live, cash flow games, how many people did you talk to? Did you get connected with Renata's, other students in the last 7 days? Because all wealth is built through conversation. All wealth is built through conversation. And I actually have a couple of crazy stories about that, if we have time. So, yeah, tell me, how many people we have? Like, what, 74 people on the line today. And so would love to have everybody have that opportunity to report, not only for me to like read down through this, but for you and your brain, when you put numbers on, even a screen like this digitally, it's interesting what happens. It's interesting what happens to your brain when you put some kind of a reporting down for yourself, for your activities. You rate your activities for the last 7 days. And so, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how well this works in line with your brain and filling up your pocketbook, being honest with yourself. Even if you have the goose egg, and I'm seeing a bunch of comments come in, and I'm seeing that people are still putting in those goose eggs. And you'll be grateful you did. You'll go back to years past when you make success for yourself, and you take over the Wednesday call for me because everybody wants to hear what you're doing and why it's working and how it's working. You'll remember the days like today that you reported the goose egg after goose egg after goose egg, and then you started doing more. And you started closing them, and you started making money, right? Like somebody asked me this yesterday, and this is on the real estate side, but it's crazy. If you've heard me say, you'll hear me say it once, you'll hear me say it again. The real estate aspect inside of Renata's, in our businesses, if you will, is, and the marketing aspect, it's the same. How you do one thing is how you do all things. Oh, I kind of gave away my topic for today, actually. But, and so, well, since I gave it away, we'll talk about it. But yeah, real estate, marketing, it's the same. So somebody asked me, how do I, Daine, how do I get to where you are in real estate? And you know what I said? I said, you know what you do? You have a real estate conversation every day. And you bring it up and you follow it down wherever it goes. And then they're like, cool, well, how do I get 5-star? You have a real estate conversation every day, an expansion real estate conversation, right? Once you get this consistency of having at least one expansion real estate conversation every day, your calendar's full, absolutely full, because of the follow-up and continuing to nurture all those new people. And so I told him, I said, eventually you want to get to, well, so what we landed on was like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm going to point those conversations, my one a day, is so that I can analyze one deal a day. Right. So he's like, all right, I will analyze one deal a day. I was like, you want to know how I got good at analyzing deals? I started analyzing one a day. And I didn't close on my first, 100. And then you come back to closing combos. I would at least talk to one person a day. In expansion, in other words, expanding that network, letting more people know that I'm getting into the real estate investing space. And I probably didn't close my first 100 people. It took me that many people. Even to get 5-star was probably over 100 people in real estate conversations that led to Renata's, right? So So yeah, keep yourself accountable. All right, let's give some love. So here, oh my gosh, I gotta scroll way. Awesome. Okay, Doug, congratulations, brother. You were the first one today. One conversation or something, one something. Thank you, Gilda. 3 boys. Oh, you are. I'm probably gonna have to ask you for some advice. Sherry had a goose egg. Thank you for being honest. Anne had 2. Gilda had 2. Sandra had 2. I bet that's challenging. You know, Keely, I don't know yet. For like 3 or 4 days in a row, we have gotten all 3 of them to nap at the same time. It is, I don't know if we're just like, if this is beginner's luck.
No, I was
or
referring
what.
to you not working for 2 weeks. I bet that's challenging.
Oh. Yes, it has been a little bit. I love it. I freaking love Renatus. It is so crazy. Deborah had 1 follow-up. David had a goose egg. Let's see, a bunch of congratulations. Megan Dale, 9 intros, 2 follow-ups, 1 one-on-one. Congratulations. I like those numbers. Carol, 6 one-on-ones. Oh, sorry, 6 with 1 new ICM. Bobby, 7 people, 3 intros, 2 follow-ups, 1 profits. Congratulations. 1 iOS system overview. I love it. Love how you're breaking it down into specifics. Deborah, yeah. You salute me. Thank you. I'll tell my wife that. Let's see. Lisa, 5 in Velocity Banking this week. Oh, good job, guys. Scarlett had a goose egg. Thank you for being honest. Rico talked to 5 with goose egg responses. No worries. That tells you something. That gives you information, right? When you can break it down like that, Rico, it gives you the information that what you're saying is not getting somebody, like, you guys ever seen those puppies that when you talk to them, they like tilt their heads? It's like the cutest thing in the world. You're not getting the puppy head tilt effect based on what you're saying. If you said that to 5 people, you're not getting them to be like, what? Okay, so change up what you're saying. And I mean the best way I figured out how to do stuff like this was I mean, obviously read all these books, but really it came back to, like, if somebody were to approach me, how would what would I respond to? And then I would try that, right? So here's the thing. The reason I tell people 1 a day is because I want you to make mistakes. I want you to make mistakes, like talking to 5 people and you have 5 goose egg responses. I want you to do that, actually. Seems counterproductive, but you just had 5 learning experiences if and only if you let it be learning experiences. Like, if you go back to those 5 and you, they stupid people or whatever, or you start, like, oh, I'm saying all the wrong things. You're right. But if you take 5 stories, like, seriously, I want you to go back to all 5 of these, and you go back and you analyze 5 stories, like, legit. What was said? How did it happen? Analyze it from different perspectives. You'll have 5 learning experiences. You want to know how I got good at it, to where, like, now it's almost like 1-to-1. Like, if I talk to somebody, it's almost guaranteed that they're like, I want to work with you, right? It took me 5 years because I started in that space of 1 a day, and I will learn from 1 learning experience per day. So don't worry, Rico, and thank you. I hope you're okay if I call you out like that. I think a lot of people wanted to hear that, or needed to hear that. So Tyson 7, Kim 7, 2 sales for Tyson. Charlin 7 convos, 0 sales yet. No worries. Pete had a no-show. Chuck had a goose egg, right? So sorry, I don't have time to go through all of these. We had a bunch of people chime in. Let's go ahead and move to the next aspect of this, because we're already 8:24. Holy cow! So, oh yeah, I think we had somebody that had a big dog, a big. Who was it? Was it Diana? Carla. 25 guests, 10 one-on-ones, 1 essential cell. The number 1 for today. Congratulations. So, all right, cool. Who can I have come off of mute today and ask their question? If you've never done this before, maybe start thinking about this could be you that comes off and asks a question. Usually you'll actually create questions when you have learning experiences, like we were talking with Rico. If you go try something and you have a result and you're like, why am I getting this result? You created that learning experience. You created an opportunity for your brain to open up to questions, to open up to suggestion, right? What's going on? What can I fix? So come off of mute, just interrupt me, and let's see if we can help you today, and everybody else gets to watch and learn. So who's it going to be? Who's it going to be today? And if we don't have anybody, then I'll just chime right into Tyson Clay.
Yeah.
What's up, my friend?
I can ask a question.
You got a camera?
Well,
Don't worry if you don't have makeup on.
I don't have makeup on. Turn my camera on in a minute. But
You're fine.
one of my sales, he has the money to buy the extreme combo, and he sees the value in it. He understands that the essentials is not going to get him into his first deal, but he wants to get into his first deal. So I had a hard time getting him to understand that if he's going to get into his first deal, he needs to get more than just the essentials. And I had a hard time overcoming that concern. He's happy with getting the essentials. That's what he's buying.
Okay.
So my question is,
so that order has already been placed.
What?
So order has already been placed for essentials. Am I hearing you right? I'm understanding correctly?
Sorry, it's gonna be placed tonight. So technically, I haven't made a sale yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So verbal commitment. I will buy essentials only.
Yeah, he said I want to start it on essentials ASAP.
Okay. Cool. Continue. Just want to make sure I know. I'll stop you if I have questions. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then so my question for you has 2 questions actually. Number 1, how do you overcome that question of his? And number 2, how do you help him see the value in upgrading later if he only buys essentials now?
Gotcha. Dude, I got a good one for you. You ready for this? Everybody, you ready for this? Oh boy, I love this question. Okay, so here I'm gonna share my screen, and let's see, share screen, Zoom, and I think if I go to my other app, it turns my camera off so you guys don't have to stare at my nose. So let's do this. All right, so question was, I've got a guy that only wants to buy essentials. And so when you see me sit down and do a one-on-one with somebody, I do it like this, right? You guys have probably seen this. I say, all right, phase 1, essentials, essentially. Phase 2, AIT. Phase 3, I want you to make 1 offer a day by knowing how to find and identify a good deal, knowing how to analyze that deal, and how to make the offer. And so I say, typically, you will, because in here, you're going to learn some taxes, you're going to learn some banking, you're going to learn some finding techniques, basics of real estate. Here, you're going to learn how to analyze, you're going to learn how to step by step, how to raise money, how to, so I'll list off, just a couple of different things, or I'll even just go to the Renata's classes and say, cool, this class, 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 this class. So tonight, Tyson, when you are putting in that order, I would do something like this. And in fact, have you already done something like this? Ish?
Yeah, we didn't do it in the
Cool.
order that you're showing me. We started with the essentials. And by we, I mean Tawny Shal and I.
Okay, cool. And so what I would do is put the deal over here. And the way to get to the deal is to go through essentials, a specific set of AIT, and learning how to find, analyze, and offer. And in this phase, just like I talked about, be like, what I want you to do is make one offer. Whoops, I'll just use this right here. I want you to make one offer per day. The way that you're going to know how to find a good deal, because you will get frustrated. You get frustrated if you don't learn some of these classes in essentials. You're going to want to learn how to analyze the deal, and you're going to get frustrated if you don't know how to do this. You're going to learn how to analyze deals in this class, market analysis, fix and flip day 1, day 2, title and escrow, all these AIT classes, right? And you want to know how to make an offer, and you're going to learn how to make offers in this class and stuff like that. And so this is one thing that I do to just really, really make sure that they grasp the concept of what is included in the classes. I'll do it like this. The second thing I'll do, and I'm going to do everybody a favor here and allow you guys to piggyback on my credibility, right? Because if you guys have ever seen either me or anybody present on the 5 currencies, and from most valuable to least valuable, you've got time, you've got knowledge, you've got relationships, you've got credibility, and the last is money. And so one thing that I am going to lend to you guys or give you guys, and you'll be able to, because in the beginning, you want to use your time and leverage other people's knowledge, leverage other people's relationships, leverage other people's credit, leverage other people's money. And that's usually how you will get yourself into your first deal, is leveraging other people's stuff in that space. Once you have it though, you use your own. And so allow me to give you guys some credibility that you can borrow. Yeah, and so Tyson, if you're following along, and everybody else, this is for everybody else too. I guarantee people need to hear this. So I do something like that, and I'll actually list out classes. I'll actually pull up my Helios, and I'll pull up my Helios, and I'll log in right in front of them, and I'll show them. I don't do this every time, but if it's needed, right? If it's needed, then yeah, I'll do this. And so I pull up my course library, and I'll start saying like, all right, let's and I do this as we're like placing the order, and I'll say, all right, let's develop your curriculum fastest way from start to money, right? And so I start with essentials, and I say, all right, out of these 9, 10, 11 classes, which ones do you feel are going to be most important to you to learn to get into and structure your first deal, right? And so I have them just start jotting them down, and then I'll come back over here, and in fact, I just did this a few days ago. And so I created this sheet, and if you guys want access to this, I can give you access to this. I've got a template. And so we developed Tyler's curriculum of what he felt like was important for him to go through in essentials, right? And notice that there's not all the classes there. I mean, we only out of the 11 classes there, we only picked the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those classes for him to bust through. And then in phase 2, I bust out and say, all right, let's go through all of these ones. And yes, I do talk about, so Renata's coaching. In fact, here, let me go to this link. This is the one-on-one coaching with none other than Mr. Gavin McCaleb. And I put that in there in their curriculum. You want to get on this guy's calendar. This guy is an instructor. This guy has done millions of dollars in transactions, hundreds of real estate investing deals, and he's been doing it for over a decade. And so, I mean, you want to learn from this guy. This guy's awesome. This is my coach. And so I'll do stuff like this. And so notice that we went through, right? And he picked multifamily 1, multifamily 2, market analysis, multifamily property managers. Like, so you can tell Tyler wants to get into the multifamily sector. And so we built this out for him. And so what you'll do tonight, and even if he only buys essentials, that's okay. But if he only buys essentials, you'll still do this. You'll still be like, all right, get through, you know, which ones do you want to go through first in essentials, and then just continue on. You're like, all right, you know, what's next? What do you want to learn? You know, and I'll probably start by going over here and saying, all right, which one is most interesting to you? Which one's most interesting to you? Business management, buy and hold, and I kind of explained, you know, buy and hold, rentals, commercial, right? Commercial, office space, restaurant space, storage units, stuff like that. Essentials, we already got that. Fix and flip, multifamily, no tenants, toilets, termites, basically like becoming the bank. Retiring in real estate, it kind of pulls from a multiple of these things: short sales, short-term rentals, and wholesaling. And so I make them pick the overall, and then as soon as they tell me like, oh, I want to flip a house, right? This is like the most common. Oh, I want to flip a house. I say, all right, so of these classes, which ones do you think are going to be most valuable for you? And, you know, title and escrow, like how many, you know, do you know that process of title and escrow when you go to the closing table, understanding mortgages? Do you know, private or non-private? You know, what do they call it? Traditional, private or traditional, market analysis. Like, do you know how to get into an appraiser's head on how to analyze a property, and how an appraiser really thinks? Private and hard money. Do you need money to do your first real estate deal, or no? If you do, you're going to want Kindle stock. Okay. Have you ever managed a rehab on a property? And even if you have, most people do it for a homeowner, not for as an investment. And so you're probably going to want to know what Brian Sump has to say about rehabbing in his day 1 and day 2 class, on what he does to save money and sell that house. I mean, down to like putting cinnamon oil in his 5-gallon bucket of paint. He puts, you know, so many drops of cinnamon oil in that paint, so that when somebody walks into the house, it doesn't smell like paint, it smells like cinnamon. And it'll actually stay in the walls, and it'll make the house smell like cinnamon for like 2 years, right? Just little tips and tricks like that are going to sell your house. I mean, things like planting yellow flowers in the front yard. It's going to make the male gender more attracted to the house for whatever scientific reason that is, right? And so you can tell I've watched these classes, for one, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But also things like fix and flip day 1, fix and flip day 2. This couple right here, Ben and Heather, they have flipped, I mean, I would dare guess 1,000 homes by now. Last time I heard, it was like 900 something. And so I would guess that it's probably approaching that 1,000 homes by now. And so they're going to teach their step-by-step system, 1 through 20, to flip houses. Contracts, this gal used to work for the DA's office, right? So you can see what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing, Tyson. And so I would go through here. Let me give you my credibility, or borrow this, so you can be like, hey, you know, you can tell my story if you want to. And let's see, here's mine. Whoop, right there. So here are all of the classes that I watched myself when I was just getting started. And you can even see the dates. You can see the dates of when I watched those classes. And some of these classes came out after, and I'm still working through them. But here's what I have actually watched and the dates that I watched them, right? So I joined November of 2015, and I used Velocity Banking to pay for it. So that was the first class I ever watched. I was finishing up my classes in college, and so I didn't even start classes until January, basically. And so I busted through Essentials in a month, and I busted through the set of classes that I had put together at the time. And like I said this morning, I have now put to work $14 million in private money, closed on 85-ish, something like that, probably like 80, somewhere between 85, 87 real estate investing transactions. Here's the classes that I watched in order to do, excuse me, in order to do that. And so if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, in fact, here, let me make it a little bigger for you. I think I can go like this so you guys can screenshot it real fast. Oh, come on. If you guys want to screenshot this to borrow that credibility, you can tell my story. You can be like, yeah, like, you know, in fact, I'll introduce you to this guy. You know, be like this, he joined back in 2016. Here's the classes that he watched, and you can tell that I want to expand. I want to go into I want to start getting into some multifamily stuff, and so I've set some new classes for me to go through, and so you can see that you never stop learning. This is what I went through to close as much as I have, and I still want to grow. So if anybody hasn't taken a screenshot yet, let me know on that. But yeah, borrow my credibility in your conversations as you're getting to or as you're helping people take a good look at Renatus, right? So Tyson, here's my question for you. Number one, does that help?
It helps a lot. The credibility
Cool.
that I can borrow from you, I think will help a lot, especially because he wants to work towards being the bank. So
cool.
So I guess how I would borrow that credibility from you is I would say, let me tell you a story about Daine, and then showing that Daine got started in 2015, and he did this, and then he took these classes, and now he's raised, what'd you say, Daine? $15 million so far?
14 million. In fact, you know what I forgot to do is I have to become the bank. Actually, you actually reminded me. I forgot So I have watched seller financed notes. Oops. 1,
2, and 3.
2, and 3. Copy, paste, and this is just because your buddy expressed the interest there in becoming the bank. This was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to become the bank. I don't do exactly what he teaches in this class, and I watched this back in, let's see, when did I close that first one? This was August, let's see, June, July. This was July of 2017. July of 2017.
And he's updated those classes since too.
Yep. Cool. So if anybody wants to take an updated screenshot of that, to do what I've done, this is where I have gone and what I learned, who I learned from. Secondly, if you guys want access to this template that you can be filling out, I mean, for yourself, but also for your students, just go to daineclark.com/tracker. If somebody can put that in the comments for everybody, somebody who might know or been to that link before, put that in the comments, daineclark.com/tracker. Okay, so it's basically, I guess I can write it out like this, daineclark.com/tracker. And so I will use this little sheet that I just showed you guys as I'm closing some people.
Hey, Daine.
Okay. And so, yes, go ahead.
Hey, Daine. The day 3 class is that only released last year, so you might want to adjust your date.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I was trying to remember when.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, I have not watched this one.
So there was a class before for seller finance notes before last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was only
Okay.
day
Day
1 and
one
day
and
2
two.
though.
Gotcha. I showed up on day 3
So
only
cool.
for the live recording, and it was cool, but I was kind of confused because I don't have the foundation for that.
Yeah, I would. I would see. I could see that. Okay, so if anybody wants to re-screenshot that, sorry, then go ahead and put that or screenshot this, and you can use that. And 3, 2, 1, perfect. All right. So if you guys want access to that template, go to that daineclark.com/tracker, and you can download it. Do not request access from or for that. Just make a copy and add it to your own. If I get emails saying, hey, somebody's requested access, I never do, because I just want you guys to download it and make it for yourself, or make it yours. So go ahead with the question.
I remember a while back you shared the direct link to your spreadsheet here, the master. So I went ahead and shared that with the chat as well as typed in your website. But I just want to verify that the link I shared is the accurate link.
Is it the /tracker one?
It's like a long jumbly situation.
This shortened one, the daineclark.com/tracker, it just goes to that big mumbo jumbo one.
Okay.
It's just, I don't remember that one off the top of my head because it's mumbo jumbo.
Right.
This one just forward to that.
Okay, so the one I shared is good. It's just a longer.
Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And oh shoot, I had one more thing I wanted to give to you, Tyson. It'll come back to me though. Okay. So I remember. Now, let's say your friend still only wants to start with essentials. That is totally fine. You set yourself up for an upgrade by doing this with that person.
Okay.
You set yourself up with an upgrade to create a void in what he needs to learn by creating this. And so I've had people legitimately, they bought essentials and I did this for them, and they finished all of their essentials classes, and then they had all of these classes over here to do, and they're like, hey Daine, how do I get access to the rest of these? I don't have access to advanced velocity banking. It has a little padlock on it. And I'm like, well, let me help you with that. And they upgraded. So if he goes for essentials only, then still share this with him and be like, yeah, Daine finished this in a month. Give him your story. I finished this in however long. How long are you going to do it? And have them tell you what their goal is. Try to get them to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to beat Daine. I'm going to do it in a month, right? Or I'm going to do that fast.
Yeah.
So that way they get through it fast, and you created a void, and they'll upgrade sooner. So that couple that I did this for, and they just they upgraded to their full combo. They busted through it in like a month and a half, I think it was. And then they were like, okay, we need more. and now they're going through their AIT. Okay, so hope this helps, brother. I really think it will.
Yeah. So you're recommending that I go through this sheet with them tonight while we're placing the essentials order, correct?
Yeah, if you have time. If you don't have time, I would get the order in, so that way he's put money down, and then I would schedule a follow-up to just do this. Right? That's usually what I do, to just do this, because it depends on It obviously depends on, you know, how prepared they are with the money and all that kind of stuff. But you guys have seen my process here, where typically I say you got to create the intrigue, you got to do the intro, introduce Renatus and the price, you got to do the one-on-one, you got to find the funding, and as soon as funding is in, then you do the oh my gosh, it's coming to me. Man, why is my brain doing this? The game plan. There we go.
Baby
The
brain.
goal setting. Yeah. The game plan, the goal setting session. And I will build the heck out of this in my one-on-ones when I'm telling them this stuff, when I'm telling them like all of these classes and things like that. I say, you know, all right, do you like the idea? You know, do you like the idea? Does this make sense to you? And they say, yes. I say, all right, step one. And I say, we will create the account. Step two, we will find the funding. Step three, we will unlock your classes as soon as we have the funding. And step four is as soon as that is unlocked, if we have time that day, we will go through this. But if not, then we will schedule an hour to bust out your goals. And we will literally just take a whole hour creating this sheet for the new student. And that's it. Like, that's all we do, like a whole hour. And obviously, you know, we're talking about other things in between, but really the objective is to get this for them. And they have access to it too. So you can see I've shared it with Tyler at his, you know, with his Gmail. So he has access to it. I have access to it. And so if I go back through some of my other students, let me see if I can find. So here's a brand new one. All right, here we go. So Kolapa, he just joined as well. And so he's already watched the velocity banking class, and he filled this in. And when he fills it in, I can see it. So I tell them, like, I will be your accountability partner. Fill these out. And so let's see if I go to some other students. Not everybody uses it. I tell you what, though, if they have questions, if they ask me questions, I fire right back. What classes have you watched? And so you can see here with Stefan, he's watched a bunch of these classes, and then he had a bunch of questions for me, and I said, all right, and I highlighted them for him. Hey, bust through these ones now, right? Because he has questions for me. And I'm like, oh, that's in this class. Oh, that's in this class, right? He in fact, this guy was the same way. He bought Essentials a long time ago. It was back before I even was doing this accountability. And so we didn't even worry about it. I probably should have just gone through and just said done, 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 done with all of these, because I'm not sure when he watched all of them. But same effect if you type in this sheet, just all that stuff. It still marks it off, if you will. And so I use this throughout their whole process. And if they ever complain, I'll say, cool, update your sheet on classes you've watched, and I'll take a look at it, and I can probably tell you in 30 seconds or less why you're feeling frustration. And I can do it almost every time, because they didn't watch the class. Like anyway, I don't want to moan about that, right? So I build and I build and I build this goal setting session. And I say, we will do this as soon as classes are unlocked. And so we sit down and we build that out for the student. So if your homeboy only buys Essentials, it's okay. Just here is your action plan. And it's to build out this for him and show him the screenshot that you took of mine.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
I think this is very helpful.
My pleasure, brother. So I could see that this was valuable enough for everybody that I didn't even get to what I had planned for today. So no worries. I'll save it, and it'll come up when it needs to come up for everybody. So perfect. Any other questions? I mean, we got 6 more minutes till the top of the hour. If anybody has questions, love to answer those. Either follow up around this or take us completely a different topic. Totally okay. But yeah, 5 more minutes. Happy to help.
I have a question, another question, if no one else does.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think it could be answered pretty quickly. I have a friend who is diving into real estate investing without this education or any formal education about it. I've used your suggestion saying, I want to introduce you to this person because he's doing what you want to do and he can help you be successful in your real estate investing. My friend has decided, and he's very adamant about this. He wants to meet that person face to face, but person's not very available. It's a Renatus instructor. So, what do you suggest to
Come
do
to
in
Richard
that
Stock's
situation?
Thursday night.
Richard Stock's meeting Thursday
what's the
night?
instructor? Which instructor do you want to introduce them to?
Well, he wants to meet you, actually.
Oh, yeah, I'll meet him. Just tell him I'm a busy dude, and so it might have to be FaceTime. But that's pretty close to face to face. Does he know who I am already?
Yeah, I told him what you do. I told him what your investor ID is, what you've accomplished, and he's like, I got to meet this guy. Yes.
Does he know about Renatus?
I'm introducing him. I'm trying to introduce him via house tour, so probably not the best time to meet you yet.
Cool. Yeah, have him come to house tour, stuff like that. I'm not sure when I'll be doing the next Thursday night. I think Michael's got it covered for a few weeks. But if you want to send him a recording of a Thursday night that I did a few weeks ago, I can get you access to that. And so that way he can kind of like pre-meet me, if you will. And then I would be more than happy to do start like a group Facebook message, because that way he can Facebook stalk me. And I build out my Facebook just like Rob Sperry teaches on purpose, where I do like two real estate posts a month, and the rest are just family and lifestyle and whatever, just normal, if you will, Facebook posts. I actually pay somebody to do it for me. So, but it's me. All the photos are me and all that. Yeah. But yeah, so start like a Facebook group message after he has seen some credibility. Actually, you already gave him some credibility, but
I did.
It would probably be more beneficial for you to try and get a little extra credibility by saying like, oh yeah, you could say, oh, Daine did a house tour of one of his deals that they bought at $100,000 discount and sold it. And, he talks about how your investment properties, you don't want them to be one trick ponies, whatever, just talk about a couple of topics that I mentioned in the class or in the intro, and, basically get him to be like, ooh, I want to hear that. You can be like, oh yeah, he even talks about how he like paid off his house in 3.5 years. In that, and so you build the intrigue and send that to him and be like, yeah, after you watch it, I'll actually start a group message with you and Daine. Is this person in Utah?
Yeah, he lives in Provo.
Oh, cool. So yeah, he's in my town, or he's in my country. For the real estate investing world, if you will. So yeah, that'll. And I'll respond to a group message like that. Obviously, I can't offer that to every single person, because that's all I would do every day. But here and there, I'm happy to extend that borrowing credibility, if you will,
Hey, Daine.
to do a few group messages like that. So yeah, I'll get to you in just a sec. So Tyson, do it like this. In fact, if you can see my screen, do it like this. Screen. Okay, so you've already built the intrigue for this guy, and so what I want you to do is say, like, cool, I want to. Oops, we're gonna step to it over here. I want to introduce you to Daine, you know, this guy I was telling you about, and then you can pull it back and say, you know what though, I want in fact, Daine did a house tour and recorded it. He did a house tour and recorded it on a property that they got $100,000 discount on and just sold it like a few weeks ago even. And, you know, just talk about, you know, some things he's going to learn. And so do that, you know, say the recorded intro, and then basically say, like, in fact, tell you what, if you watch that recording, like, Daine will actually appreciate a lot more, because you're going to, like, if you have any questions for him, the questions are probably going to come from that recorded intro that he did. Instead of just asking him like newbie questions, ask him questions on the things, because he shares a lot of information in this recording. Right, so you following me here?
I am.
So offer to introduce him to me, but pull it back and say, I will introduce you as soon as you watch this. And then next question is, when do you want me to introduce you to Daine? So when introduced to Daine, ask him that question. And then say, you know, let's say he's like, oh, like Monday of next week or whatever. Then you say, great. Can you watch this by then? Okay, so when do you want to get introduced to Daine? Let's say Monday. You say, cool. Can you watch? Totally spelled it wrong, but oh well. Can you watch by then? And if he says yes, like, cool. When you have watched that and you've jotted down a couple of questions for him, I will start a group Facebook message to make the introduction, and just be like, I bet you we could even get Daine on like a FaceTime call, and he'll talk to you.
That sounds good. I tried steering him away from meeting you face to face because I know your time is valuable. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you can use the whole like, oh, his wife just had a baby and he promised her that he would do no business expansion. Yeah. for a while, you know, whatever.
Hey, Daine.
Awesome. Babies are like get out of jail free cards. So okay, sorry. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Daine, I was just gonna, add. You do have that founders webinar that you were talking. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. That was a great one too, and it's very short. So you could, if Tyson wants to use that, because that was
just kind of,
that's really great, and it's short. So it's on founders webinar.
Just tell a couple of stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. That could work too. So either one, because this one is like an hour.
Yes.
And 30-ish, where that founders webinar is only going to be, 5 minutes maybe.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I will say though, Tyson.
Yeah.
This, if you can get him to watch this, it will take you leaps and bounds closer to having him join Renatus. But to get him to commit to an hour and 30 minutes of his time, it's quite a bit. So you'll have to sell what's in that and say the way to get to Daine is, respect his time. I mean, this dude closes $1 million a month in real estate. Almost, let's say 500,000, $500,000 a month in real estate and new acquisitions. And so he's a busy dude. And so to respect his time, watch this free training that he did, and jot down questions that you have from the training, because he'll probably answer a bunch of questions that you already have. And if he doesn't, then yeah, he'll answer those questions too. But yeah, I think you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, this is gold.
And
This
I
is
will
so
give
good.
him, I'll give him 15 minutes. And basically steer him in the right direction. And yeah, I mean, you'll love what I do, and we can do a 3-way call so you can hear it.
Yeah, this is gold. Thank you,
cool.
Daine.
Hey, Daine, can we get the link
right,
of
guys.
that training? That intro?
Yeah,
Is that?
it is in. So if you go to the Facebook group, here, I'll show you exactly where it is.
Okay.
It is right.
Just want to see what date it is. Mm.
So if you go to the Facebook group, Real Estate Investors United. Oh, come on. Real Estate Investors United. And if you go to the tagline, let's see here we go. Popular topics, welcome videos, and I am, oh, did they take it away? Here, let's see if it's in one of the units.
Someone's asking if it's on YouTube, Daine.
It is, but it's on a private. It's on a private one. So where is it? It used to be in here. Unit 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I'm not sure where it is. I know it's in here though.
And it's not in the regular Facebook page, right? The one that
no, because this Real Estate Investors United one, it was created for the purpose of marketing, where we've got all of these testimonials in here. We've got instructors. We've got the intro videos. So I bet you it might be in this discussion somewhere.
Daine, you know that shared drive where we pulled these videos from to create the page?
Yeah.
That's what I'm pulling up right now to get the link for everybody.
Okay. Did I load mine in there? I can't remember if I just loaded it straight into the Facebook group or if I did put it in that template.
I was able to pull it from that template to put it onto my page, so I'm pretty positive it's there.
Cool.
It's just the 55-minute deeper dive, right? With you?
I think that one is Michael's. I
have one of you and of Michael.
Okay, so here it is in the Facebook group.
Oh, so July 1. Is that July 1?
Let's make sure this is actually it. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, come on. Okay. Cool. So that's it right there. So it's in that Facebook group. It is called step number 2. So if you just search inside of this Facebook group, step number 2, it doesn't look like it's like a unit or anything. Edit post topic. Welcome videos. Huh, it says it is a welcome video. So maybe I just missed it. Here, let's come back. Welcome video. Oh yeah, it was there. I just didn't scroll far enough.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
so
cool.
Step number 2 is the one. There's going to be 2 step number 2s. One of them is Michael. One of them is me. And so that's where you can find that. So you can add them to the group, and then you go in here and you tag them, and you say, like, see how all these people have been doing this? So I can be like, thank you. I can be like Tyson Clay. Oh, I might have to say.
At Tyson Clay.
Actually, are you in this group, Tyson?
I'm not in that group actually, but maybe if you still do at Tyson Clay, you can
Bro.
still find me.
Yeah. So yeah, get yourself into this group. This is awesome. Provides a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's where it is. So either
Okay.
you can add him
Thank
to
you,
this
Daine.
group
Thank you so
and
much.
tag him in that video, or you can go to the Google Drive that Keely was talking about, and you can actually every single video that's in this Facebook group has been built out in the template to build a Facebook group exactly like this one if you want it. But I mean, we've got 377 members in this, so it does, provide a little bit of credibility and growing. I mean, every time I look at it, we got more people in here.
Where do you
So
have that,
it's
Keely?
growing fast.
Hey, Keely.
You still there, Keely?
I just shared it in the chat for everybody.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
All right. Okay. That's what I was looking. I was scrolling up and I didn't see it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Cool. All right, guys. Happy Wealth Wednesday. Thank you so much. Sorry I didn't, looks like 48 comments I missed. hopefully answer all your guys' questions. But I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Let me know how it goes, Tyson.
Thanks,
I
Daine.
will.
All right,
Thanks,
guys,
Daine.
take care.
Thank you so much, Daine. Thank you, Keely. Thank you, everybody.
Happy Wealth Wednesday. Have a good day, everybody. See you later.
Thanks,
You
Keely.
too,
You too.
Keely. Thank you very much.